Guys, welcome back to another Dead Drop video, and I'm stupid excited to make this one today as we got a crazy awesome teaser from Midnight Society on Twitter, and you'll just have to stick with me today. I am sick. I've got this gunk going on in my head. I don't know, but I'm gonna muscle my way through this video because, hey, I love you. Just as a reminder, October 20th, that's when Snapshot 7 releases. We are less than 3 weeks away. That is coming up crazy fast. What's even cooler about October 20th is that there is going to be an in-person event out in Las Vegas. And just in case anybody hasn't seen it over on Twitter, I am giving away 150 of these bad boys. So I've got limited quantity, but these are legit poker chips with the Dead Drop logo, just kind of a cool token to take home from the trip. So try to track me down before these bad boys are gone. We'll snap a picture together, do a little handshake, and hey man, I'm looking forward to it. All right, without further ado, let's dive into this teaser. So pretty cool trailer, right? We got a lot of good stuff, and I'm just going to let it play as I talk about a couple of things, because I think there's a couple of things that are worth pointing out that are really interesting in this video, and they're easy to miss if you don't slow it down and kind of go frame by frame. First of all, I got to say, Twitter quality. What are we doing? I'm sorry, not Twitter. X. What are we doing, Elon? I would love to see a 4K version of this video. Seriously, get it together over there, dude. Anyway, there's a couple of things in here. So first of all, this is UE5 in action shots, right? For the most part, I would say 80% of this is just kind of action shots in the engine. But there are a couple of clips of actual gameplay that we can kind of slow down and take a look at. There's a couple of really interesting things to kind of slow down and look at. All right, so first of all, this is our first clip right here. And if you watch this, there's some damage numbers that pop up over here. You can see this character. Oh God, freaking Twitter quality, dude. There's this guy over here. He's shooting towards this vehicle, right? Then he turns. We've got 4 signs here, right? And there's a lot in just this little frame right here. So the first one says Sector 03 entry. Now, I know you gotta kind of squint with one eye and turn your phone sideways and back away from your PC because of that awesome X quality, right? But that's what that one says. We'll come back to that. The second one, warning, unlawful zone ahead. We'll come back to that one as well. Now, I can't get a frame that tells me what sector this is, but here it says Sector something entry. I've played this back I don't know how many times. You guys tell me if you watch this video and you can see that there is a clear number there. I can't figure it out. The only thing that I'm gonna assume here is that is another Sector 3 entry. And then our 4th sign is another warning, unlawful zone ahead. Now, I can't really get a frame that is clear. I'm going to go with maybe that right there. You can kind of tell that this is warning. That's unlawful zone ahead. Now, we're going to ignore the warning unlawful zones ahead for a second. But what I imagine is, so you're all on this highway together, right? And you've got 4, let's call them exits. And they're going to take you to different places on the tower. These 2 right here, while they could be 2 separate sectors, it could be the same sector. Like what I said, it could be one entrance at Sector 3 and maybe a back entrance at Sector 3, right? Later on at the very end of this video, we can pretty much confirm that whoever is driving this vehicle eventually gets to Sector 3. We'll get to that. But I assume that you're going to have multiple routes to multiple sectors. And this is a really good way of splitting up the player base. That way, not everybody is going into the same point at the tower and it's just pure chaos. This actually splits us out. And just right now, you've got 4 routes, but I imagine there's going to be all kinds of routes whenever DEADROP finally gets built and it's a complete product. We know that there's going to be 7 sectors. So let's say, in fact, that there are 2 entries, you know, this first sign and this third sign from the left there. Let's say there's 2 entries to sector 3. Well, let's just say there's 2 entries to every sector. That's 14 entries, right? And I'm just spitballing here, but I'm assuming that the warning unlawful zone ahead signs are exits to potential future sectors that we don't have access to just yet, right? That aren't in the game. So that way, whenever, let's say, sector 4 gets released or sector 5, maybe just past this sign, the road cuts off and you just go through some roadblocks and it drops off and you crash your car and you're done. But potentially whenever sector 4, sector 5, sector, whatever sector it is, right? Whenever it gets revealed that they're going to build out that pathway and boom, they're going to open that road. And again, I'm just going to spitball here, but there's some certain cool stuff that you can do with the roadways, for events. You know, if you have a Halloween event, let's say in sector 5, down the road, you may start to see some spooky stuff. I'm just guessing here, but there's some cool stuff that they could potentially do down the road. Down the road. Do you get it? Down the road? Come on, man. That's punny right there, huh? So lots of cool stuff there. That was one gameplay clip. Let's try to find the other one here. Believe it's about to show up right here. Okay, so first of all, right there, right? We got some pretty sweet drifting, man. And I gotta say, like, just the turning mechanic. I'm not a big racing guy, but that looks pretty sick to me. So another thing to confirm. So he goes through this barricade. We got a little destruction, right? So that's pretty sweet to see. You also see some more damage. You've got a dev back here getting chased by this guy. You can see him getting shot from outside the window here. Pretty sweet gameplay, man. So something to think about. If somebody gets shot and they die, you know, we've got sin lives now. You know, you've got 2 sin lives after you die. So what's that mean for the gameplay loop? Do you respawn in your vehicle? Do you respawn at all? Do you have to get to the tower to get your sin life? Do you lose what you bring into the game? There's so many questions involved with what happens before we even get to the tower. And just my assumption is that we load up, we loot up, we get in a vehicle at someone's hideout, whoever's in your crew or your solo hideout, and you leave from your hideout and you're going to the tower. And so I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if you die in the middle of this gun gameplay here, what that means. Many questions to be answered on October 20th, right? Now, this last clip, this is obviously cold storage. If you go back to the beginning of this clip, these are very obviously the glowing boxes of space dust that are in the basement of cold storage. And then finally they pull in. It's very blue tinted. You see up here storage for cold storage. So they're very obviously pulling up to sector 3, aka cold storage. And then you get a nice clip of them stepping out of the vehicle into cold storage. And I assume the gameplay loop begins of what we're accustomed to seeing, boots on the ground, FPS shooter. So that's it. That's kind of a short and sweet video for today. There's a lot to unpack, and I've got, I think, more questions than answers regarding how the gameplay loop is gonna feel. You know, if you equip a certain weapon like a sniper, is that what you're gonna have whenever you're driving? So can you snipe people out of the vehicle? And again, the respawn system, are you going to be able to chuck grenades? What happens to your car when you wreck it? Because there were some clips in there of people running into other vehicles and the vehicle exploding. So, you know, are we looting vehicles? Are we looting parts? I don't know, dude. I got so many questions. Regardless, super pumped to see this stuff from Midnight Society. They've done a heck of a job. Every time that they've been hyping up a snapshot, I get more and more excited. And obviously, I didn't even mention it, but there's this huge art pass, right? Holy smokes, man. That's easy to overlook because of the vehicle gameplay, but man, there's this huge art pass, so it makes me think, are we gonna see another art pass in Sector 3? I don't know, man. I'm stupid excited. This is just the vehicle gameplay. They haven't even teased what we can do for UGC, which we know is coming of some sort. Mind is blown. October 20th is gonna be a huge day for DEADROP. I'll see you on the next one.